we're going to head down to Florida, where today it is all about some heavy rain and the threat for some severe storms. Although I know rain on the weekend is not what you want to hear, but we will take every raindrop that we can get, because Florida, Georgia, parts of the country today that are going to get the heavy rain. These are in spots of the country that are in dire need of the rain. Most of Florida under a level 4 out of 5 form of exceptional drought. Much of the state under a level 3 extreme drought. So really 100% of the state is under some form of drought. And the relief that we want, it is on the way. We are not expecting a whole lot of rain, but some spots could pick up 1 to 2 inches. In fact, there could be some localized higher amounts in the mix. You look at live radar this morning over the past 3 hours, and we have been tracking this cold front that's draped across the region. That's bringing the heavy rain, as well as numerous flashes of lightning across the Florida panhandle. Even some alerts that there could potentially be some water spouts in the open water. So you look at the estimated rainfall. Some pockets have picked up 1 to 2 inches of rain so far. That is the rain aspect of it, and the potential for maybe some instances of flash flooding. But there's also that severe risk, Michael, and pretty much all hazards are going to be on the table here. In fact, I think the greatest hazard, given that the overall setup of how these storms are going to evolve, is going to be damaging wind, but we can't rule out hail or a tornado risk.
Absolutely. And always in Florida, whenever you talk about showers and heavy thunderstorms, there is a localized flood risk as well. So multiple hazards on the table. If you have tickets to any of the over 12 theme parks in Orlando, keep a close eye on your Fox radar today, because those showers and thunderstorms could become more numerous.
So you look at that front, that's going to help to be the trigger mechanism for these storms. But you have the ingredients coming together. You have a lot of moisture coming in from the Gulf of America, and the storm energy is going to continue to build, especially through the second half of the day. Low-level jet position, so it's going to enhance the shear.
And I think that if we were to see a spin up, just looking at this, it would be up towards, say, Panama City, Tallahassee, that area, that zone. So if there were going to be some sort of action in terms of there being a spin up and or tornado or water spout, that's the place I would first start to look.
We look at the timing of this, and we've been talking about this morning, that based on what we're seeing now, it pretty much aligns with where this future model is. So going forward, likely this could be how it evolves as we go through the morning into the afternoon. Storms are going to increase in their coverage.
You know, I think to myself, I used to live in Georgia, and I would drive into Florida all the time and stop off at the Welcome Center and grab some, they always had free orange juice. If you do that, though, watch out. Those parking lots are crowded. You're going to be running the whole parking lot to get there. Just know that those showers and thunderstorms are going to continue to work from Central Florida into South Florida. So basically the entire state going to see perhaps some rain today.
You had me at orange juice. My family loves orange juice. That'll be our stopping point. Look forward through the evening and tonight, and the shift in the rain goes to far southern Florida. We look at that wind threat, really highlighted Panama City, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, down to Daytona Beach. When we talk about damaging wind, this is when wind gusts can be in excess of about 60 miles per hour or higher.
Yeah, and that's easily able to bring down a couple of tree limbs, palm fronds is what they call them. Those could come on down. And there's that isolated tornadic threat as well.